Be it a big piece of birthday cake or a slice of pizza, there was always something to stuff your face with at a birthday party back in the 80s. However, while birthday cakes and pizza slices have endured, most party foods have disappeared. So why don't we look at some of our favorite birthday foods from yesteryear? Planters cheese balls.
How come you go, after you crunch your cheese balls?
They're Planters.
This beloved cheesy snack snuck its way into our hearts in the early 1980s. Forever a staple of the 80s kids party, Planters were the go-to snack for every parent trying to feed a bunch of hungry and hyperactive kids looking for a salty and cheesy explosion of tastes to keep them at bay before the cake came. Packaged in a resealable container, Planters promised it would preserve its unique and delicious taste for days on end. This serving of 37 small cheese balls came from a time when nobody cared what the food looked like, so long as it came ready to take you on a cheese-induced journey of a lifetime. Sadly, these cheesy delights had their last birthday party in 2006 when Planters discontinued the brand when sales began to plummet. Fortunately, there was a rallying cry from nostalgic fans who begged Planters to produce their favorite cheese snack once again, and Planters obliged with a limited release in 2018. However, while fans were able to get their favorite cheese balls back, the next food on our list has been left in the halls of nostalgia and may never return. Two Ninja Turtle pies.
We're heroes in a half shell, we're baking a surprise. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pies.
Ninja Turtle pies were an incredibly tasty snack from the past that screamed of their time, with a green outer shell and a sweet pudding cream inside. This combination made it a favorite snack for kids at birthday parties all through the 1980s, and with flavors like apple and cherry, you could be sure the flavor party would never end. Part of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle craze, which had swept across the nation, captivating kids all over America, solidified this snack as a treat the kids couldn't resist. Pair this treat with all the memorabilia, tied-in toys, and other attached products, and you have the makings for the ultimate Teenage Mutant Turtle-themed birthday jamboree. Known for their sweet and crunchy taste, these specialty snacks gave kids the feeling of hanging out with the turtles while getting something delicious to eat. Sadly, these fantastic birthday foods disappeared from shelves in 1987 and were never heard from again, except for a brief period in 1991 when a vanilla-flavored recipe made its way into the market, only to be discontinued before the year ran out. Its absence left a void you can still see in birthday party food till this day, much like this next treat. 3 Shark Bites.
Now, just when you thought it was safe to eat shark bites.
Fruit-flavored snacks were popular birthday party foods among kids who grew up in the 80s. These treats were loved by kids for a variety of reasons. Whether it was for their assortment of flavors or playful shapes, these snacks were a great way to get your kids into healthy snacks, as each shark was packed with lots of vitamin C, only 80 calories per pouch, no fats, no cholesterol or gluten. Sold in 10-pack boxes, these treats were perfect for adding to lunch boxes, grabbing on the go, or spraying over a tray when the kids are getting ready to party, or even stuffing in a piñata so that the kids get a healthy surprise when they burst it open. However, the popularity of these fruity snacks began to dip when Betty Crocker, its manufacturer, decided to remove artificial flavors and colors from all their product. This decision led to the discontinuation of the iconic Shark Bites as fans lost interest in the original product as the taste was no longer the same. Despite their absence from the market, Shark Bites fruit-flavored snacks are merely a nostalgic memory for those who enjoyed their fruity flavors and fun shapes at parties and lunch breaks alike. Talking about fruity treats, nothing brought citrusy flavor to 80s birthday parties like our next treat. 4 Bonkers.
Every time folks eat super fruity Bonkers fruit candy.
Released by Nabisco in the mid-1980s, Bonkers was a unique candy made up of a chewable rectangular center with a tangy filling packaged in a large rectangular box. Each one was wrapped individually and came in a few popular flavors, including grape, orange, strawberry, watermelon, and chocolate. This delectable birthday treat gained popularity through a memorable number of commercials, which featured characters who, after taking a bite of this candy, would break into hysterical laughter as a giant strawberry crashed through the ceiling right on top of them, and then the tagline would appear, "Bonkers bonks you." That tagline would leave kids rolling on the floor laughing as they begged their parents to get them a pack at their next birthday bash. Unfortunately, as the ad campaigns began to wane, so did the customers, and that spelled the end for this super treat. Sadly, intense competition in the candy market and the increased emphasis on healthier snack options all led to the eventual discontinuation of the candy by its manufacturers in the 90s. 1980s. When taking a trip down memory lane, we often remember only the best and brightest, and we leave behind some sleeper hit. And the next treat on our list was definitely a sleeper hit, 5 PB Max.
Just what is the PB in new PB Max? PB don't mean pineapple beanie.
Developed by Mars in the late 80s, this candy is sadly no longer available. It's disheartening to note its absence, as the recipe for this party favorite is undeniably a true delight. To ensure the peanut butter stayed smooth and didn't separate, the PB Max was sweetened with sugar and combined with hydrogenated vegetable oil to create a stable and buttery smooth consistency to appeal to any taste bud. The PB Max was made up of a square-shaped whole-grain cookie topped with creamy peanut butter all coated on milk chocolate and covered with crunch cookie pieces to create the ultimate birthday party snack to keep the kids stuck in a sugar-induced hyperstate all day. PB Max claimed the birthday party scene for a very long time during the 80s. However, the Mars family didn't have a particular fondness for peanut butter, so when sales started to dip, the company moved in a completely different direction with its next treat, 6 Magic Middle.
Now, Professor.
An idea that will change the cookie world forever. Melted chocolatey middles in the cookies.
Too late, we just did it. New Keebler Magic Middles. Try one.
Magic Middles were loved by everyone, young and old alike. We all couldn't get enough of these magnificent cookies. When they first came out, everyone wanted to have them passed around at their birthday parties, and could you blame them? Made of shortbread with either a gooey fudge or peanut butter center, this cookie was loved by everyone. Known for flying off the shelves of malls and nearby bodegas, customers couldn't get enough of them and would rush to buy as many as they could before they were all out. When the Magic Middles parent company caught wind of their overnight success, they decided to double down and come up with a smaller version called Mini Middles. Even though Magic Middles was a smash hit in the 80s, something strange happened to the Middles Keebler company, and they eventually pulled their mega hit from stores, and we never heard from these magical cookies ever again. While it is hard to pinpoint why some successful brands are pulled from shelves, other brands make it quite easy to identify why they were pulled, just like the next birthday snack on our list, 7 O'Boise's chips.
They're probably crackly roysters.
Made by the Keebler Company, these chips became popular mostly because of their weird and crunchy texture. Before there were Lay's and Pringles in the world, we had O'Boise's, and for a long time in the 80s, they reigned supreme. These baked potato chips provided customers with the original BBQ and sour cream and onion flavors, making them the perfect choice for parents and friends looking for something salty and sweet to give the kids when they were just about to cut the birthday cake. O'Boise's had a very strong and dominant claim over the market, and that made it easy for them to outsell their competition. That all changed when Lay's entered the market, presenting a formidable challenge to O'Boise's. Unfortunately, O'Boise's couldn't keep up with Lay's superior taste and excellent smooth texture. This enticing flavor combination left O'Boise's adrift as Lay's swiftly took control of the market. Our next bygone birthday staple was a bit more unconventional for the time, but it was just as beloved. 8 Jell-O Pudding Pops.
Jell-O pudding pops! Jell-O pudding pops! Frozen pudding on a stick!
For any child of the 80s, the mere mention of pudding pop triggers an irresistible response of salivation and eager lip-licking. These enchanting treats were synonymous with delight for kids growing up in that era. Cold, creamy, and chocolatey with a deliciously frosty exterior, pudding pops were the perfect way to start a birthday party during the hot summers of the 80s. In the 70s, Jell-O ventured beyond its signature jiggly desserts to introduce frozen treats, revolutionizing their iconic puddings into delightful popsicles by the 80s. In their debut year, Pudding Pops achieved remarkable success, raking in over $100 million in sales and tripling that figure in just a few short years. Despite this impressive performance, Jell-O ultimately deemed the product too costly to maintain in the market, and they eventually discontinued the production of these excellent birthday treats, making it hard for anyone with a craving for these pops to seek alternatives elsewhere. That said, nothing is stopping you from freezing your next batch of homemade chocolate pudding to relive the glory days of the pudding pop. Talking about glory days, this next treat was an obsession back in the 80s. 9 Jolt Cola.
It's a question of taste.
Tastes like Coke.
It tastes like Pepsi.
Tastes like a diet soda.
Tastes different.
What they're tasting is a new cola called Jolt.
Introduced to the public in 1985, Jolt Cola quickly gained a reputation for its exhilarating caffeine content, combined with an ample amount of sugar designed to supercharge your mind and body with a surge of artificial energy, making it the perfect companion for kids who needed to run around during birthday parties or needed to chug down some obesies quickly before jumping back into the party scene. Long before the energy drink craze flooded the market with brands like Red Bull, Monster, and Prime, Jolt Cola emerged as the pioneering force of the 80s. It was created as a counter-response to the influx of artificially sweetened diet beverages that were dominating the soft drink industry. In 2009, Jolt succumbed to bankruptcy as it fell short of its ambitious target to sell 90 million custom-designed cans. Though the brand experienced a brief resurgence in 2017 with an exclusive appearance at Dollar General, it ultimately disappeared from the market. Today, Jolt can only be spotted occasionally on eBay when rare and out-of-fashion products go out on auction to the highest bidder. If you were looking for a tasty snack to munch on while you were gulping some Jolt Cola, you definitely have loved our next treat. 10 candy cigarettes. If you grew up in the 80s without memories of indulging in candy or bubblegum cigarettes during that one friend's Rouge birthday party, can you truly call yourself a child of that era? It may seem bizarre, but those harmful products were marketed to kids even though they were designed like candy. The connection between childhood play acting with smoking and the likelihood of adopting this harmful habit in adulthood was significant enough to prompt a shift in the candy industry, leading to changes in packaging and marketing strategies. Some states took the bold step of banning the product entirely. Although such laws had yet to gain traction on a national scale back in the 80s, today, most people don't want to be associated with the tobacco industry. However, back then the tobacco industry had more sway, so although the explicit labeling of cigarette has been eliminated from candy cigarettes and brand-inspired packaging had been discontinued, products resembling cigarette sticks continued to exist, albeit in a range of subtly altered forms. However, by the time the late 90s had rolled around, the candy cigarettes were all but a thing of the past, as most people were more focused on living healthier and more fulfilling lives. 11 fruit roll-ups.
Electric blue raspberry flavor fruit roll-ups.
Awesome.
This fruity snack was the rave of the town, and every birthday party had to have it at the table, front and center. It was the star of every lunchbox and birthday party in children. It was a truly delightful treat in the 80s, and it could be rolled, balled, stretched into different sizes and shapes. Fruit roll-ups made their debut in the 80s when General Mills manufactured the fruit-flavored snacks, first starting with a test run in 1979 that knocked their competitors out. This colorful snack was the creation of Joseph Shaloub and his son, and it was originally known as Amardine, an apricot-based paste that they would give customers to taste. It was called fruit leather because the paste was the consistency of leather, hard to chew. Their father-son enterprise was named Joret Fruit Rolls, and it was the first fruit roll to appear in America. Fruit roll-ups had just 3 flavors on inception, which were strawberry, cherry, and apple, but in 1984, more flavors were added: apricots, orange, and grapefruit. Children enjoyed rolling and stretching it into different things before they ate the fruity snack. Sadly, fruit roll-ups would lose their appeal when mothers discovered that there was no real fruit in, and it was only a mix of corn syrup and artificial flavors.
Childhood, we're going to make some homemade strawberry fruit roll-ups.
To make a homemade version of this snack, here is what you need: any fruit of your choice, honey or sugar, and maybe some lemons. Make sure to properly wash your fruits first of all, of course. Then pour fruit, honey, and lemon into the blender or food processor and puree. Then line your pan with strong and clear plastic wrap. Pour your mixture into the pan and spread thinly with a spatula. Set your oven temperature to the lowest setting and leave the mix for about 6 to 8 hours. When it is ready, cut it up and it's ready to serve. This sweet fruit leather had kids in a twist back in the 80s, but it was forgotten when mothers went for healthier options. Fruit roll-ups were a tasty treat, sure, but the next meal on the meal was culinary perfection, a delectable dish still enjoyed by many to this day: 12 deviled eggs.
We're making some quick and delicious deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs, also known as stuffed eggs, was that unassuming dish that turned out to be a stunner once you popped one into your mouth. The term deviled was often used as a term for spicy or zesty food. These fantastic eggs were not only prominent at birthday parties, they were famous at every other party in the 80s. Deviled eggs has its origins in ancient Rome, where the Romans boiled eggs and seasoned them with spicy sauces and served them during gatherings and feasts. The classic deviled eggs recipe included mayonnaise, paprika, and mustard. mustard. This dish was beloved for its simplicity and versatility. There were a lot of variations of this simple dish, and parents could easily whip up a batch of themed deviled eggs for a birthday party. A fun fact about this dish is that National Deviled Eggs Day is celebrated on the 2nd of November. To make deviled eggs, all you need is eggs and your personal preferences of spices. Start by boiling your eggs until hard-boiled. Put eggs in a bowl of cold water to cool. Slice the eggs into half and scoop out the yolk and place in a bowl. Mix the yolk with spices of choice. Scoop the yolk into the egg whites and garnish as desired. Deviled eggs were delightful to eat and simple to make, but they slowly went out of fashion until they became forgotten. Time to move on to one of the great birthday dishes of the 80s. 13 pizza rolls.
Are these egg rolls with a pizza filling? They're pizza rolls!
Pizza rolls, also known as pizza poppers, are a variation of wildly popular and beloved pizza. These bite-sized pizza rolls were the perfect choice for a children's birthday party. It tastes just like pizza, filled with tomato sauce and cheese and other toppings, and children absolutely loved it. Pizza rolls were easy to pop into the microwave, and they came in a variety of flavors. This delicacy was first created in the 1960s by Beatrice Ojacongas for Geno Paolucci, who specialized in canned and frozen Chinese food. Geno Paolucci was looking for alternatives for his egg roll machine, and he replaced the traditional filling of a Chinese egg roll with pizza toppings, and that's how pizza rolls came to be. In the 1980s, Paolucci sold the product to Pillsbury, who later became Totino's. To make homemade pizza rolls, all you need is pizza dough, cheese, pepperoni, pizza sauce, and lastly, some olive oil. When you have that down, preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and line a baking sheet with parchment paper. Lay pizza dough onto a baking sheet and stretch it slightly. Cover the dough with cheese. Scatter some pepperoni over the cheese and then top it off with more cheese. Roll up the dough starting from the shortest end and then brush the outside of the dough with olive oil. Bake in the preheated oven until golden brown for about 25 minutes. Now it's done, and all that's left is to slice it up and serve with pizza sauce. Pizza rolls were the ultimate birthday snack. And now, so it's only right that we're moving on to the ultimate 80s birthday drink. 14 Ecto Coolers.
Slimer's new fruit drink. You've been warned.
If you had a box of Ecto Coolers back in the 80s, you were definitely one of the cool kids on the block. High C rebranded their drink called Citrus Cooler that had been around since the 1960s and brought it back to the market as Ecto Coolers. It was most notably marketed as a product tie-in with the cartoon series The Real Ghostbusters, and the neon green color was associated with a character, Slimer aka Onionhead. It was marketed as edible ectoplasm, and kids really loved it. It appeared in some popular shows back in the 80s. The blend of tangerine and orange fruit concentrate made this juice box a delightful pleasure of the 80s. This drink commanded attention at every birthday party, and you can still get it even now. Various recipes are on the net for the recreation of this childhood drink, but nothing can beat the original orange and tangerine tanginess. Ecto Coolers were a hit with the kids, but our next treat was a beloved favorite of both young and old. 15 Sloppy Joes.
Today, I'm going to show you how to make homemade Sloppy Joes.
Sloppy Joes, also known as Yum Yums or Slush Burgers or Manwich, were the supreme messy meals of the 80s. They dirtied your face and spilled onto your laps, but you just had to love the beefy goodness. These sandwiches were typically made with ground beef in a spiced tomato sauce, served on a hamburger bun. The sauce was a variety of spices, and parents often got creative with it. The origins of Sloppy Joes are very obscure, leaving the room for many people to take credit for making the juicy, delicious sandwich. One example of the origins of Sloppy Joe is that a cook named Joe created the sandwich in 1930 by adding tomato paste to the famous Midwestern loose meat sandwich in Sioux City, Iowa. Another theory is that this American favorite was created at a bar in Key West, Florida named Sloppy Joe's Bar. A fun fact about Sloppy Joes is that National Sloppy Joe Day is celebrated on the 8th of March. To make Sloppy Joes, all you need is lean ground beef, chopped onions, bell peppers, ketchup, brown sugar, tomato paste, Worcestershire sauce, chili powder, and of course, some hamburger buns. When you have that down, heat up your skillet on medium heat. Stir lean ground beef in the hot skillet until some of the fat starts to render. Add your chopped onions and bell pepper and cook until both vegetables and beef are thoroughly cooked. Stir in ketchup, brown sugar, tomato paste, Worcestershire sauce, and chili powder. Season it liberally with salt and pepper. Reduce the heat and let the mix simmer for 20 to 30 minutes. Then scoop the beef mixture onto hamburger buns and enjoy. Next dish on the forgotten birthday party list was just as wildly popular a staple. 16 Jell-O pudding pops.
Jell-O pudding pops, Jell-O pudding pops. Frozen
Jell-O and its variations were the rage of its time, and it was no wonder that Jell-O puddings became wildly popular and loved. Children requested these pudding pops in birthday parties, and parents were only happy to indulge. It became a well-known and simple dessert in the 80s. Jell-O pudding pops were made in the 1970s in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Making its first appearance in the 1970s and becoming popular in the 80s, Jell-O pudding pops dominated the 80s scene. General Foods made and marketed these frozen ice pop treats. Bill Cosby was the face of the marketing campaign launched for Jell-O pudding pops. Pudding pops came in various flavors such as chocolate, vanilla, and chocolate vanilla swirl. In 1983, Jell-O also released Jell-O gelatin pops, and it came in a variety of fruit flavors. Now marketed under popsicles, Jell-O pudding pops still live on. To make an easy homemade version of Jell-O pudding pops, just make sure you have these key ingredients on hand: evaporated milk, instant chocolate pudding mix, and some white sugar. Pour your milk, evaporated milk, instant pudding, and sugar into a bowl. Beat the mixture until it takes on a smooth, consistent feel. And lastly, pour the mixture into ice pop molds and freeze for about 3 hours or until it is firm, then you're good to go. Our next 80s birthday classic had a world of difference from Jell-O pudding pops, but it was just as amazing. 17 Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets, filled with delicious pepperoni pizza, chicken and cheddar, or ham and cheese, in a crispy pocket.
Founded by Paul and David Mirage under their brand, Chef America, in 1983 as a successor to Tasty Witch, Hot Pockets was the talk of the town. It was simple and versatile, a testament to the simple culinary taste of that era. Children couldn't get enough of this cheese, meats, and vegetables mix, and parents added it to birthday menus. It was always a welcome sight at birthday tables. It was very easy to make, as all you had to do was pop it into the microwave, and it tasted really delicious. Hot Pockets also offered a myriad of choices, and children had fun deciding on which flavor they wanted. But sadly, it slowly became forgotten when moms started looking for healthier alternatives to microwave dishes. Next on the list was a simple and sweet dessert that everybody back then couldn't get enough of: 18 ice cream and jelly. Your birthday was very much incomplete if you did not have little cups of ice cream and jelly. You just had to have ice cream and jelly. This simple but sweet dessert was loved by both adults and kids, and it was one of the main attractions at a birthday party. It was always fun to mix Ben & Jerry's or Baskin-Robbins or your favorite ice cream with jelly. Ice cream and ice lollies became wildly popular in the 80s with different flavors coming up. There was a variety of jelly flavors ranging from mango to cherry to strawberry, and children had fun combining their favorite jellies and ice cream. You can make your jelly and ice cream from scratch, or you could simply get the already made packages and just scoop them onto a plate for a delightful treat. All you need is a tub of your favorite ice cream and a packet of jelly. If you're looking for something a little heartier, you definitely should try out this next dish. 19 mini hot dogs. At birthday parties in the 80s, mini hot dogs were quite popular. It was uncomplicated, delicious, and versatile. Parents would grill, steam, or boil sausages and then slide into fresh buns. You could add toppings like grated cheese, bacons, olives, and whatever topping caught your fancy. Hot dog sauces were also subject to your choice with common condiments like mustard, relish, ketchup, and so much more. Kids loved the mini hot dogs, and it was quickly consumed at birthday parties. A fun fact was that the original name for the hot dog was Dachshund sausage because of its shape. The sausages were also prepared and also skewered on sticks and served at birthday parties. It became forgotten as the times moved on. The last dish on this list is an iconic dish. To make mini hot dogs, you'll need some sausages, hot dog buns, mustard, ketchup, and lastly, some toppings. Prepare the sausages, cut them into half. Lightly grill the hot dog buns and cut into half, just the size of the chopped sausages. Then lastly, slide in the sausages into the hot dog buns and add a mix of ketchup and mustard, and then add your toppings of choice. Last item for today's video was the classic of all classics for 80s birthday treats: 20 Pac-Man cake.
A lot. You know the process. Today we're making a Pac-Man themed cake.
What is a birthday party without cake? It's like Easter without painted eggs or Thanksgiving without turkey. Although cakes are far forgotten nowadays, certain designs have been lost to time. A perfect example is the Pac-Man cake. In 1980, Namco developed the video game called Pac-Man. Originally called Puck-Man in Japan, designed by Toru Iwatani, the maze video game took the world by storm, and children wanted the design of this game on their cakes. Pac-Man was very popular, and parents designed cake pops and cakes in the Pac-Man style. It could be designed in various ways, and children really loved it. It wasn't only cakes that took on the Pac-Man designs. Everything that could be designed was covered with the video games. The popularity of this cake really soared in the 80s, but went on a sharp decline coinciding with the fall in popularity, before which it faded into total obscurity. And that's the end of the ride, guys. What a crazy, sugar-filled ride it has been as we've explored the crazy world of kids' birthday party foods and how they made birthdays awesome. Now it's time for you guys to tell us which foods and snacks you plan on trying out, which ones we missed out on, and which ones from your childhood you'll like to see brought back to life in the comment section. Who knows, we might make part 2. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you on the next one.